Hey team, welcome to Monday Night Live and Happy New Year. Who else loves stepping into a brand new year? Turning to a new chapter in your story, having a fresh start, you guys. 361 new days stand before us. So what are you guys going to do with them? Will you step into your greatness for 2021? It's up to you. And guys, here's the truth. What the new year brings to you will depend on what you bring to the new year. It is time to give yourself permission to live a big life, friends, to step into who you were truly meant to be, to stop playing small because you guys are meant for greater things. For we know that success is not by accident, but on purpose. It is hard work and it doesn't come to us, we go to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abby. So before we jump in to the presentation that we have tonight for y'all, I want you first to envision, okay? Envision with me. What do you want 2021 to look like? Maybe you already have a list of goals, right? Maybe some of y'all feel like I don't even know what the heck I got myself into. Whatever end of the spectrum you're on tonight, we're talking to every single one of y'all. So let's just take a moment right now and if you want to, you can get out a pen and paper if you want to, or you can just brainstorm, or you can save it until after the call. But I wanted to say, okay, what do you want 2021 to look like for you as a wife? What about as a mom? We have lots of moms on here tonight. What about as a teacher? We have teachers on tonight, right? What about a child of God, right? All those different hats that we wear. And so it's not just about being businesswomen, but it's also about all the other areas in our lives. And so I want you to think about 2021. For me, as a business owner specifically, I'm thinking I want to be able to prioritize my growth, right? We know that our lids cap us off unless we're willing to continue to grow. Also, another area is I want to be intentional, continue to brand myself, continue to lead my team and lead my team well, right? I really desire to have some jewels on my team and diamonds on my team. And so I want to be able to be the very best leader. And so, what is it going to look like for y'all? Another thing I thought of as a wife, I need to spend intentional time with my husband. And that's going to mean saying no to distractions. And y'all, I don't know if there's anyone else on tonight, but a distraction for me is if my house is not clean. So if there's dishes, if, the counters are messy, if there's just stuff everywhere, it's really hard for me just to sit on the couch and spend time with my husband. So I'm going to work on not letting the distractions get to me, but really being intentional about relationships. And as a mama, I'm going to need to read all the parenting books because y'all, my boys are completely opposite. And right now I'm kind of at the part where I'm like, okay, I was feeling really good about this parenting thing, but now I need to learn a bit more. So what is it going to be for y'all? What specific changes are you going to make? We're going to share a little bit tonight about 4 different areas that you need to be intentional about growing and doing in your business throughout all of 2021. So the next thing I wanted to share with y'all is, let me get to it. Okay, there's a big difference between being interested in achieving a goal and being committed to that goal. Being interested just isn't enough. So what the heck does that mean, right? Being interested versus being committed. So if you're taking ownership of your business, you must first understand, are you in that committed category or do you fall into the interested? So let's dig a little bit more into that tonight. So first of all, if you are interested, we're going to call you curious, right? That's going to be your title. You simply are curious about what this business could do for you. So maybe you're relying on your upline for answers. Maybe you're wanting your upline to make you successful. Maybe you're working your business when you feel like it or when it's convenient to you. Maybe you feel like you're coachable, but you don't actually make the changes that your upline is asking you to make. Maybe your excuses are truly bigger than your level of commitment. What
Mm.
about those of you who are doing enough just to get by? You're checking those boxes. Or here's a really good one, y'all. You're feeling comfortable or safe. A lot of times we want to hold on to that safety bubble, right? Around us. And that's when you let your emotions drive your actions, right? You just aren't willing to leave that safety bubble. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more tonight. Okay, the opposite, if you're committed, you're determined. Okay, so if you're interested, you're curious, if you're committed, you're determined. So I bet right now you just thought of a few leaders on this team who are downright committed. Christina Williams comes to my mind, right, y'all? You're probably thinking several leaders' names. Okay, so they don't accept excuses, they only want results. And y'all, results look very different. Now, results don't just have to be on paper, right? There's so many different areas in our businesses that results can occur. Also, they make sacrifices in order to move the needle forward in their business. They're relentless in the pursuit of their goals, right? They're truly looking at those obstacles, right, as opportunities because y'all, we're gonna all hit roadblocks at some point, right? But the good thing is we can look at it as something that we need to learn how to overcome. Also, if someone is committed, they are willing to learn something new, right? And it's not always in their comfort zone. And then also, when you're committed, you're understanding that there's a bigger picture. And we're going to talk a little bit more about dreaming big tonight. So, those of you, if you're falling in the commitment category, or maybe you're feeling like you're not sure yet, well, I'm going to give you some ideas and then you can determine if that's you. If you're committed, you're time blocking, right? You have a set schedule of when you work your business. You're showing up 6 days a week. Now, we want you to take that seventh day. It's a Sabbath, right? It's biblical. So work the sixth, take the seventh off. You're jumping on team calls consistently in book study and your camera's on, right? You're ready to go. You're extremely coachable, but you're taking a next step and you're not just listening to the things, you're putting them into action. You're making those pivots, you're making those changes. And right away, that last point, implementing the changes. It's not enough just to know. Yeah, I know I need to make those changes. Yeah, I know I could have had a better 2020. Well, guess what? This is your year. Don't let anyone else tell you it's not going to be because you are in complete control of what this year is going to look like when it comes to your business and working your business. And so I wanted to share a little bit with y'all and be a bit real. But we're going to talk a little bit about drawing your line in the sand. And y'all, I thought I was committed. A year ago, I thought I was working my business, right? But y'all, the truth is, I was over there checking the boxes, doing the minimums, but I looked like I was working my business. I thought I was working hard, but I really wasn't. You know, once I look back, I was like, what was I doing? What was I spending my time on? And so I wanted to share what happened in my journey for me to get to the point where I drew that line in the sand and I said, I'm ready to go. It was actually Ruby Retreat. There's been several areas, but the very last one that I truly drew my line was at Ruby Retreat in Arizona. It was last February. It was incredible. And a lot of y'all know I'm a speech therapist by trade. So I went through grad school, did the whole master's thing, had a newborn during that time. It took me 3 years to get my master's. And so I was dealing with a lot of this mind trash, y'all. And I was there sitting in the room at Ruby Retreat, and there were several people, diamonds in our company, who had doctorate levels. They had master's levels. They had 2, 3, 4 degrees. And so that was enough to show me that it didn't matter what degree we have or what credentials we don't have. What matters is that we're passionate about what we do. And so I truly had to get out of my head and stop saying that, well, what happens if I do this and I no longer do speech therapy? Or what will others think of me, right? Or, oh my goodness, I just put us in debt. Now what happens? You know? And I've had people say to me, y'all, when are you going to go back to being a speech therapist? And I've said, never, because I truly am passionate about what I do. And so when I got back from retreat, I chatted with my husband and he was like, can I tell you something? And I was like, okay. And he said, to be honest, you are way more happy doing plexus. You need to just keep doing this plexus thing. And so that's what I decided, drew that line in the sand. And so I want to encourage y'all tonight. If you're on here, you're kind of dabbling, you're not really sure what you're doing, or maybe some of y'all, you need to redraw that line. Go ahead and spend some time after this call tonight and figure out if I'm talking to you. So I redeveloped that why, and now I need to know, y'all, are you willing to do whatever it takes to grow your business in 2021? Are you willing, here we go, this is really good. Are you willing to make temporary sacrifices in order to say yes to your why permanently? You guys get how important that is? So you're going to take, temporary sacrifices, whatever it might be. For me, for a while there, I gave up Food Network. I love learning how to cook. I love all the desserts. I gave up binge watching Netflix with my husband. Sometimes I had to say no to girls' nights, whatever it was. So there were these sacrifices, y'all. There's times where I have to tell my son, Mommy can't put you to bed tonight. But guess what? There's so many other days now I get full days with him. And so it's like, you have to switch up which kind of sacrifices you're making, knowing that long term, I am doing this for my family and it's going to be the same thing for y'all. And so I basically stopped the excuses, y'all. I worked my business consistently. I was fully committed and I stopped pretending to be someone else. I really dug deep and I said, what do I have to offer others? What value does April have to share? And so that's when I started to really look for those dream teamers and people who I wanted to do this business with. But y'all, it's not going to always be easy, right? There's been times in 2020, and I think of Abby's story too, that were hard. We went through a divorce in the family, not my immediate family, but very close to it. My husband is barely home because of work hours. My boys were sick. We moved locally. So there's things that happen, y'all, but everyone has life happen to them. It's just whether or not you're using those things as excuses. And so if you care about this business and wanting to do it, y'all, we really have to stop caring about what others think. And that's really, really hard. But y'all, at the end of the day, we know why we're doing this. And it's amazing being able to help people. And y'all, if you care about what others think of you, your life is going to end up being insignificant, right? Because we won't ever be able to reach our fullest potential. So that's what I had to do. I had to stop listening to what people were saying about me or thinking about me. And y'all, you better guess that those people who have said things, they're changing their mind over there because they're watching and they're seeing what's going on with Plexus. And at some point, y'all, they're going to join me. So again, are you willing to make those temporary sacrifices? All right, the next is I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about commitment, right? So we just talked about whether or not you're committed or you're interested and which category you fall in. And if you're committed to your goal, y'all, you're going to prioritize it and take action, right? All throughout this next year. You have to be willing to fail, and then we're going to analyze, and then we're going to do it again. You guys, quitting cannot be in our vocabulary. I think about it. I mean, we wouldn't quit being a parent, right? We wouldn't quit being a wife. We wouldn't quit XYZ, grad school, whatever it is. So we can't just say, yeah, I'm going to give it a try, and then I'll probably end up quitting. That just shouldn't be in our vocabulary. So commitment leads to actions, and those actions are going to bring our dreams closer. So let's talk a bit about goal setting. What kind of goals are y'all setting this year? If they are safe goals, it's not going to scare you, right? And those are not going to be big enough goals to keep you going when things get tough, right? So, are you setting safe goals? Are you setting goals that actually scare you? Because, y'all, when you think about it, if you're setting little goals, you're going to expect to have little achievements. But if you're thinking about big goals, you can expect to have big, big success. But we need to get out of our heads, right? It is so easy for us to say, well, how are you going to do that? Is that goal even possible? Or you're not that girl, or you're nothing like her. How will you hit that goal, right? We tell ourselves those lies and we compare ourselves to so many others when this is April's journey. This is Kayleen's journey. This is Rachel's journey. It's each individual person's journey, and we're going at different paces, and that's okay. So you need to get out of your head, right? And start thinking about the future. Because, y'all, if we're always in the past, it's going to hold us back. It's going to hinder us from reaching our fullest potential. So, first of all, we need to concentrate on our strengths, right? That's going to stop us from comparing, what we're lacking. Look at your strengths and go ahead and displace any of those negative thoughts with positivity. Write those positive affirmations, speak them out loud, and get rid of those negative thoughts. Now, the next information I took from one of Bob Heilig's podcasts. So I wanted to give him credit because I am doing some paraphrasing. But he said, your current circumstances have nothing to do with your future success. So if y'all feel like 2020 wasn't your year, or you went backwards in your business, or you're over here sitting here like, I'm brand new, I don't know what to expect, whatever it is a level playing field, and you are in charge of where you will go this year. So that should be really exciting. It's not about the person on your left or right or higher than you, whatever it is. It's all about you and your journey and what you're willing to do this year. And so we need to think a bit about the future, because, you guys, life will only change when we become more committed to our dreams than we do our comfort zone. And that hurts a bit, right? Because some of the things we do can tend to be outside of our comfort zone. But when we're outside of our comfort zone, that's where we're growing, right? If we're just sitting there in our little bubble, we're not really growing in the areas that we need growth. So we need to make sure that we are thinking positive, and then just know, y'all, that our brain seeks consistency, right? Our brain wants certainty. So we basically have to rewire it and tell it that it's okay to be outside of our comfort zone. And we must rewire it and think positively and envision where this journey can take us. And again, y'all, our goals need to seem impossible to us. And so you might be thinking about your goals, right? And if we set a 1-year goal, we're going to limit ourselves, right? We're going to set limitations. But what if we tell ourselves to set a 10-year goal, knowing that we want to hit that 10-year goal this year, right? How much bigger will we be thinking if we say, okay, in 10 years, where do you want to go with Plexus? Knowing that that is possible in a year or in 2 years. So we just want to be really careful that we're not limiting how far and how fast we can go in this business. And y'all, I want you to think too about, what can this do for your family? Can this get you guys out of debt? Can this bring you home? Can this connect you with amazing community of women and you have something to call your own? What is it that this opportunity, maybe you just want to help people, right? The products have helped you to feel so great and you want to help others. But y'all, if you struggle to dream big, you're limiting what you can achieve. So in order to hit your goals, you're going to have to grow, and as fast as you grow will be as fast as you go. So you must set those goals, because y'all, if you do not plan, then you're going to plan to fail, right? If you fail to plan, you are going to plan to fail, right? So before you set those goals, you really have to think about, okay, how much time am I willing to put forth my business? How much time are you willing to invest in yourself, right? We invest so much in personal growth when it comes to this company. Or how much time are you willing to invest in XYZ? Maybe learning about the products, wherever else you feel like you may be lacking at this point. And we really do need to be detailed, have crystallized thinking about where we can go with this opportunity and where we can go by the end of 2021. So make sure you're setting a plan, set those deadlines, be specific. Don't just say, I want to hit a rank or I want this many points. Well, who's going to help you get there? What kind of actions are you going to take? All those different measurements. And then develop a sincere desire of what you are wanting. So that's your why. We must stay anchored to our why. And some of y'all who are newer on this call are saying, well, what's a why? Ask your upline, but it's basically, why are you doing this? What is this going to do for your family? And we call those pain points. But you're going to stay anchored to your why, because there's going to be amazing times this year. There's going to be hard times, right? And we need to stay anchored to something that's going to cause us to want to show up every day. And then again, we're going to concentrate on those strengths. Stop thinking about what you're lacking and thinking about the past, right? And be willing to grow yourself so you can also grow a team. So I'm going to hand it over to Abby, and she's going to talk a bit more about growth.
Thank you, April. That was so good. Wow. All right, so let's dive into growth a little bit more, because April mentions just how important that is in our line of work, in our business. So John Maxwell says that growth is a great separator between those who succeed and those who do not. Are you guys the ones that want to succeed this year? Well, then you have to be intentional about growth. So here's another quote for you guys. Are you growing forward, or are you falling backwards? It's going to be a daily thing. Are you choosing to grow that day? Because if not, you're falling backwards. And guys, it's either or, not both. Guys, life is always changing. Our business is always changing. Will you guys decide to grow with it? This new year brings us lots of opportunities to grow personally, spiritually, it could be mentally, emotionally. What I'm finding is that investing in my own growth and self-development is actually self-care. It's taking care of myself and my business so that I can best lead, serve, and grow my team and leaders. It might sound pretty basic, but not necessarily, guys. This is a daily practice, one that does need to be intentionally implemented in order to see the return from it. So let's take a second and step back and take a look at fixed mindset versus a mindset of growth. Okay, so fixed mindset. People who have fixed mindset avoid challenges. Is that you? Do you avoid the hard things? If you have growth mindset, you embrace them. You embrace the challenges as stepping stones in your journey, knowing that you will learn from them. Something will come from them. Fixed mindset gets frustrated or gives up easily. Growth mindset. If you have growth mindset, you persist in the face of setbacks. Something happens in your business, you still continue moving forward. Fixed mindset thinks potential is predetermined. Growth mindset sees effort as a path to mastering your skill, mastering your business. Fixed mindset takes criticism feedback personally. Guys, it's something I used to struggle with big time. And I've gotten better at it. Hopefully April can say that. And growth mindset learns from criticism, knowing that that feedback that we're getting is for a reason, and it's actually going to better us if we're choosing to sit back, listen, reflect, accept, and act on it. And then fixed mindset feels threatened by the success of others. Mindset finds lessons and inspiration in the success of others. There is enough success, you guys, for all of us. There's enough success to go around for each and every single one of us. So be careful so you guys don't cross into comparison. Like April said, stay in your lane. There's enough success for you. Just might be a little bit slower or faster than other people around you. So growth is a mindset and a choice, and it isn't always easy. Growing might feel like you're breaking at first, but it's always a beautiful thing when you guys are able to get beyond it on the other side. So if you guys think about growing pains and kids and how sometimes they cry at night, right? Because their little bones are growing and they're shifting and their muscles are stretching. Well, those growing pains aren't fun, but they're necessary to become the whole-bodied person that God is creating them to be. I can't just tell my son when his leg is hurting, oh, I'll just make your leg stop growing. Guys, right? That's a part of life. It's a part of process of life, as in growth, growing in life, growing in your business. It's the same thing. It's part of the process. It might be painful at first, but it is part of how it works. So don't resist that growth. Lean into the growth. Make it a part of who you are as a developing leader. This year, I challenge you guys to do that. Make growth a part of who you are this year and see where that growth can take you. It should be a non-negotiable for you. Okay, so here's the part I really want you guys to hear. Are you guys with me? So once you have decided to commit to the act of growing and have committed to the action of doing daily personal growth, that isn't it, guys. That isn't the end. You also have to commit to the process of reflecting, analyzing while you learn, and then finally, you have to commit to implementing what you have learned. Did you guys hear that? You have to put into practice what you are learning. Guys, sometimes I feel like I'm rushing to fit my growth in. Can anybody else relate? I'm rushing. Maybe I'm throwing something on in the car quick on the way home. Maybe I'm just sitting down to read a few pages quick. That isn't going to cut it, guys. You have to be able to dive into what you're listening to and what you're reading, highlight, make notes, answer questions, talk with your sponsor about what you're learning. That shows that you're a leader that's hungry. Talk with your team, talk with your sidelines. Don't just throw on a quick podcast and be done. Check off that list. That's not going to do it, guys. So as an Emerald Ambassador, I am still learning the importance of personal growth. As I said, this has been something that I'm continuing to learn. I have been learning over the last 2.5 years. I'm not perfect at it yet. I'm a red. And so I love to get into action. I'd rather spend my time talking with my team, having conversations about products, getting people signed up, checking activities off the list. Guys, but what I've found is I can never outwork my growth. So I was stuck for a while in my business because I was more interested in learning about the products, how they work, learning certain tasks, recruiting, retaining, but I didn't spend a lot of time investing in me as a person, getting to know myself, my strengths, focusing on those areas that needed help, leadership, coaching, something I knew nothing about before Plexus, and I'm still learning. Guys, I would skim books. I would plug into a podcast maybe once a week. I remember April introducing me to Bob Heilig, and I thought he was this crazy guy. Well, now I love him. But those things were just not natural for me at first. But as I continued to do it, it became a part of me and my growth. I want to share a few books with you guys that I've been plugging into. So if you're interested in learning more about coaching and leadership, which you should be, Here's 3 great books that I just ordered 2 of these, got them in the mail today. The other one I've been reading, Good Leaders Ask Great Questions by the famous John Maxwell. I got this book today, Coaching Questions by Tony, I don't know how to say his last name, Stoltzfus, and Dare to Lead. I have to give credit to Stacy on my team. She threw this one in our chat one day and I was like, oh, that one looks good. So click, Amazon order, got to my door today. Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. Okay, so guys, it's not enough, as I said, to just read, move on. I encourage you to sit back down and visit again. As I said, talk with somebody about what you're learning, take notes, listen to the audio and read it, double whammy. And then when I'm reading these coaching books, another thing I can do is actually write out questions that are new to me that I find interesting. And then when I have my next coaching call, I'm going to grab that sheet and I'm going to use those questions, whether I feel comfortable or not, whether I have no idea if this is going to be a fruitful conversation. It could be good, it could be bad, right? Trial and error, but I'm actually implementing what I'm learning. And that's how we grow. We might fail. That's okay. That's still growth. We might succeed, and that's growth as well. So the last thing I want to touch on about growth with you guys quickly is, April said it too, you only go as far as you grow. We cannot become who we want to be by remaining who we are, and cannot get to where we want to go by remaining where we are. You have to move. You have to step out of that comfort zone. You have to break down the walls. It's actually not even that easy, right? You don't just step out. Like, you literally have to break down the walls. Do you have big goals? Big, hairy, audacious dreams, like Tara Castaneda says. If you want to go up, you have to grow up. So I want you guys to put a 1 in the chat if you're committed to growth this year, the growth it will require you to go up this year of 2021. Put a 1 in the chat. So you guys are committing to this, right? You just showed me. So now you're going to act on this. I'm seeing lots of 1s. Yay. Okay, so the last topic I want to talk with you guys about tonight is consistency. Consistency is what transforms average into excellent. Are you guys showing up every single day as a CEO? Did you guys know you're a CEO? Are you showing up every day like one? Were you consistent? Here's the question. Were you guys consistent in 2020? It's a yes or no answer. Were you consistent? There were some areas I was consistent. You guys know my story, and my son was in the hospital. He was very sick after he was born, went through a lot of trials this past year, but I never gave up in my consistency because I know that's going to reap a lot of harvest in my business. Now, as far as exercise goes, yeah, that was a fail for me. So that's something I need to restart on. But were you guys consistent in different areas in your life? Were you consistent in your IPA? Your health goals, your commitment to your customers and their success? Did you forget about your customers? That's our number 1 goal. Were you consistent in your branding? In getting uncomfortable? It makes me uncomfortable thinking about that. Okay, so if you're not, if you guys are not consistent, then you're just an average player in this company. That kind of hurts, right? But reality check, think about it. Plexus is not an average company. We don't have an average comp plan. Our products are not just average. So why are you doing average work? Why are you just showing up whenever you want? That's being an average player. But you can be an excellent player. Are your goals just average, or are they big, like April shared? You may need to revisit her point and really let yourselves dream this year. Your goals should be bigger than yourself because it is absolutely attainable. And if you don't believe that, I believe it for you. Do not sell yourself short. Strive for excellence and to be a little bit better today than the person you showed up as yesterday. I tell some of the people in my team 1%, aim to grow 1% each day. And if you do that within a whole year, you'll grow 365%. That's huge. 1% each day. Okay, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. The tasks and activities that you complete daily, no matter what, they turn into habits, good or bad. The habits become routine. And once it becomes a routine, it becomes a part of you, like brushing your teeth or washing your face. Well, some of us wash our face on a daily basis. The cool thing, you guys, about routines is that it becomes an automatic. And many times you don't even have to think about it, right? It just becomes a part of your daily routine. You don't have to think about even connecting to it emotionally, which is good to not get always connected with those emotions because emotions are not always true. Doing my IPA will get me to Sapphire. It will help me quit my job. It will help me pay off my car loan, get me to Hawaii, help me stay home with my babies, bring my husband home from work. You better believe it that I am doing my IPA every single day, 6 days a week, whether I feel like it or not. It is a choice. If I'm too tired, maybe I'm depressed or anxious, maybe I was facing a marriage issue, teaching 2 kids at home, a teething baby, son in the hospital, my husband lost his job, I stopped working and started working again. Those are all true stories about me, by the way. I decided to just do the dang thing. I think that's a Christina quote. Do the thing whether you feel like it or not. Did you guys know that it is harder to get back on track after being inconsistent rather than continuing to show up every single day? Guys, I'll give you an example. Before COVID hit, I had been going to the gym and to my Zumba class faithfully for about 2 years on a weekly basis. Now, after essentially taking off work, working out after being 10 months, for 10 months, COVID, which was a choice, by the way, I'm really, really struggling getting back into it. The last few times I've tried to implement some cardio, guys, my heart rate has like shot through the roof. And my husband's like, are you okay? So it's been really a hard process to go from working out consistently once, twice, 3 times a week for 2 years to nothing for 10 months, except a little bit of walking. But that's hard, right? That's hard. Now, those 2 years of doing the exercise consistently, that was easy because I got into the flow. It became part of me and part of my routine and part of my habits. Because remember, weekly habits turned into routine, which becomes a part of you. Now, if it hadn't been for the virus and the gym being shut down and being 6 months pregnant, which are excuses again, you better believe I would still be doing Zumba with the old folks at the gym. Yep, they're all like 60, 70 years old, and I was the youngest, but I loved it, and they loved seeing me with my little belly. But life, right? It's harder to get back on a horse rather than continue to ride it. So stick with it. Don't fall off and get back on and fall off and get back on. It's easier once you decide to commit, you draw your line in your sand, that you stay consistent each day, in and out. Okay, so 2021, it's time to start making the daily effort, drop the excuses. It's too hard. There's too many distractions in my life. I'm just too busy. I'll do it later. I'm not good with routines. I don't like them. I will get something done tomorrow. Well, you guys know what is harder than that? Not seeing your kids grow up, working 3 jobs, being tied to debt. Guys, facing distractions, stop getting distracted by the things that have nothing to do with your goals. If you're too busy, are you really too busy to change your families, your children's, Sarah, oh my gosh, your grandchildren's future. You better believe I got some truth bombs coming your way, guys. You're planning on doing it later? Listen up. You won't. Don't like routines? That's an excuse. That's a choice. If you do them now, you guys, you will have all the time freedom you want for permanently, like April said. And then you guys don't put off today or put off tomorrow, sorry, what you can get done today. No one is guaranteed tomorrow. Remember that. Live each day like it's your last. Okay, so consistency impacts more than just growing your mind, your team, your points, your paycheck. There's 4 things it can also impact. Number 1, it allows for measurement, being able to track points, track patterns in your business, recruiting, developing silvers, retention over time. So by being consistent, you're going to be able to have measurable results and be able to track those over time. Number 2 reason for being consistent, it creates accountability. If Christina worked 2 days a week, or Brittany showed up to a random book study maybe once a month, or April posted only when she felt like it, would you guys still be able to count on them fully? Probably not, which those are not true, by the way. The reputation of a great leader is built on consistency. Do you want your team members to take you seriously, to see you as their leader, to be able to count and trust in you? Be consistent. Number 3, consistency establishes your reputation. Your repetition becomes your reputation. I like that. Your repetition becomes your reputation. I'm learning that people like consistency. I know I do. So whether it's a store, being able to go to your same favorite store, expecting to find the same things, your favorite restaurant. You know, what if you went to your favorite restaurant and they said, oh, we switched up the whole menu, we no longer feature that anymore? You probably wouldn't be happy about it. Our team, our customers want to see us be consistent and be reputable and be able to see what we're famous for. What are you famous for? What are you passionate about? Are you consistently using those things, your strengths, your personality, to add value to people? And then number 4, consistency maintains a clear message. The last thing we want to do, guys, is confuse our teammates, our audience, our leaders. If you're all over the place, in and out, up and down, here and there, you could very well be sending a message that you're not all in. Plexus just isn't important to you right now. And honestly, you're showing that you are not worth your leader's time investment. Okay, guys, so I hope that all of this was helpful and it shows you the sheer value of being consistent, whether it's showing up for your team each day, doing your income producing activity, IPA, personal growth, social media work, trainings, book studies, Monday Night Live. Thank you for being here, for investing in your business tonight. Helping your customers get their best results. Consistency matters big time. It will make the difference in your success this year. So quick review, and thanks guys for bearing with us. I know we went a little long, but we had so much to share with you guys tonight. So number 1, are you committed or interested? Number 2, what kind of goals are you setting? 3, are you growing forward or falling backwards each day? And 4, are you showing up like a CEO? So what we want you guys to take some time after you get off tonight and really sit down and think about these 4 points. You will decide how 2021 will go for you. Are you going to be consistent? Are you going to show up like the leader of your business? Are you going to continue to work through the trials and be committed and set big goals for yourself? If you guys want, go ahead and share some of your goals here in this chat. Tell us one thing you want to plan on being consistent with this year. Otherwise, like we said, when you get off tonight, tomorrow, this week, sit down, figure these things out, prep yourself as you go into a brand new year. And you guys, it's going to be an incredible year. Make it an incredible year. And thanks, guys, for being on tonight.